My friend told me about this awesome podcast called Rewild Yourself, and there was an episode that talked about our relationship with the sun. And I wanted to, before I made a video on it, test some things for myself, just because that's the best way to do it is confirm in your own direct experience. So it basically talked about how the sun's rays are kind of seen as this harmful thing. Don't go into the sun without sunscreen, or else you're going to get sunburn. You got to protect yourself. Use sunscreen, protect yourself from skin cancer. But in the podcast, they talked about how sunscreen is actually harming you and can even help cause sorts of skin cancers and whatnot, because basically the sun gives off UVA and UVB, and when you put sunscreen on, it blocks UVB, which prevents sunburn. And they talked about how sunburn is this early warning system for your skin to tell you, get out of the sun, or you overexposed. So when you block out the UVB with sunscreen, yeah, you're blocking out sunburn, but you're also blocking out all the nutrients that you get from the sun, because all the nutrients are in the UVB. It has a lot of, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was like stimulation of circadian rhythm, stimulation of pineal gland, and then there was it had a really long name, but it regulates hormones. And when you put on the sunscreen, you can't, what am I trying to say? You're devoiding yourself of all, natural vitamin D. And you could say, I'll just take vitamin D supplements, but the issue with the vitamin D supplements is you're not going to get, can't exactly remember what they were saying about the consistency with vitamin D and direct sunlight versus vitamin D supplements, but basically what they were getting at was that there are these vitamin D receptors in our skin, in our pores, and they kind of open up to receive sunlight. And don't forget, vitamin D is a hormone, not a vitamin, even though it's called vitamin D. But our skin opens up to the sun's rays, and these receptors get filled up with vitamin D. And when you have an empty vitamin D receptor or receptors, you become susceptible to bacteria and disease getting in these receptors. And when you don't have the vitamin D, they multiply and they kind of set up shop and disable the reception of vitamin D. So that's, it's getting in and it's not infecting your skin and starving you of nutrients. There was also a talk about Dr. I don't even know if he was a doctor. I think he was a doctor, but Auguste Rollier, and he had a heliotherapy treatment center in the Alps in Switzerland, and basically it was heliotherapy is like sun-related treatments, and he had all these kids with lupus and TB, I think it was, and through slow exposure of the sun's rays, he basically healed them. He healed their sores, he healed their, what is it? These, they got the before and after pictures of the kids, and they have like deformed bones, hunched backs, this and that, sores all over. And with the sun exposure, over time, they literally, it looks like two different kids, and it's amazing what the sun can do for you. But basically, what I took from that is the sun has a lot of healing and nourishing properties, and if you don't get proper sun exposure through, putting on sunscreen, then you're starving yourself of these nutrients and healthy skin. And They also, something that was very, very interesting as well, is that glass filters out UVB rays. So if you think you can, suntan through a window or something like that, you're not getting any nutrients. So you have to really make sure, and with the warm weather here, we're going to have plenty of sun. You really need to get out there and get your vitamin D3. Okay, so the vitamin D in supplements is unsulfated, so it can't move through the bloodstream as good as direct sunlight. The sunlight soaks into your skin, the vitamin D soaks into your skin, and it circulates through your bloodstream very easily, whereas when you eat something, it's not going to have as much as an effect as the direct sunlight. And they also mentioned, I think it was fermented cod liver oil. If you want a more natural, better alternative to like a vitamin D supplement. But I mean, I'm not really into any of the vitamin supplements, this and that. My overall point I'm trying to say is that sunlight is crucial to our life. I mean, you go into the sun, you feel good, you feel energized, you feel rejuvenated. It also really cleans your body out. Very importantly, I also wanted to mention there is an app called D-Minder, like the letter D, Minder, like a pun on reminder. I only poked around with it a little bit because I know how my skin reacts to the sun, but you basically put in like your skin type and blah 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 and your location and this and that, and it tells you a kind of rough estimate of how much sun exposure you should be getting. And there are ways to work your way up with sun resistance, but obviously we all have different skin colors. We're all in different parts of the world, and my sun exposure is going to be different from your sun exposure. But that is a very important thing to do, because you don't want to overdo getting too much sun and get all burnt up. That always sucks. That's painful. That hurts. I just really thought it was interesting how sunscreen is another thing. You're getting rid of a discomfort in exchange for your nutrients from the sun. So they also, if you are concerned about sunburn, talked about, I think it was some sort of like essential oil or whatever. I'm not really into that stuff too much either, but they talked about that as far as protecting your skin. I'm going to link the podcast below, so you can, look into it from the direct podcast, and it's probably a little more coherent than what I'm saying, but I just thought it was really cool, and I wanted to share it to even more people, because I kind of bounced all over the place. You want to get your vitamin D3 directly from the sun, because when you use sunscreen, you're not getting any vitamins because you're blocking out the UVB rays. And you also don't want to tan through glass or get your sun exposure through glass, because the UVB is filtered out through the glass. And I think that was basically it, like the whole point I wanted to share. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.